Roland. Hello, FPL managers. Glad to have you back again for another edition of the FPL Ambassadors show. Good, we are happy, and the FPL countdown is continuing. We are just left with just 15 days more, just 2 more weeks for us to get back into FPL. Roland, how are you this evening? And how has your week been so far? How has it been like?
Well, I'm well. By God's grace.
Charlie,
Just a bit tired. You can see from my eyes, but I didn't even know we had 15 more days. I haven't even logged onto the site to even do a first draft.
Oh, Charlie,
Hey,
Charlie.
oh, I'm a draft. I think
The
very
good,
soon.
the
I'll
greatest
have to
news,
log in and see what's going.
the greatest news that is coming is that Darwin Nunes has hit 4 good goals. The troll of preseason so far has finally broken the dark. Charlie, this guy is coming to break the template. So all the Asu guys, Charlie, the guy has now scored. Now let's see how you tease him. You know, Klopp said that he is his guy, and if he is his guy, no worry, he's going to do the job for us. So like I said, so preseason is really, really going on. Some teams are quite doing very well. Next week, we are going to do a pure preseason roundup. You know, some of the teams, Man City just played their first preseason, so we can't do a review all the teams. So what we will do is we review all the teams, their preseason, and then see how the matches are going and things like that. But some teams are standout so far. Roland, what do you think about the United guys? The United guys are getting a lot of talk so far in FPL and in normal football so far. Do you think Ten Hag is really going to do the job for them? What do you think over there?
Yeah, I think that Ten Hag is doing a fabulous work as of the start of this preseason. We all know he came in with a certain pedigree of, demanding the right stuff being done. He's not there to play, like as affable as maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was, or as talkative as Ralph Ranick was. But if you see him, sometimes you see short clips of him swearing at the players, ensuring what he wants done being done. So all in all, it's good, and I believe that the Ronaldo factor too is an issue. These kids really play well when there's pressure of them, and
Okay.
it's as though Ronaldo has been giving these guys a lot of pressure. Without him in the team, you can see Martial scored. Martial has scored in every game.
Yeah,
Rashford has
yeah.
scored in 2 games. Sancho,
Sure,
I mean
sure,
Van de
sure,
Beek,
sure.
and the play hasn't been
Charlie,
that bad, so it's good. It's good.
Charlie.
Now, what do
Great,
you
great,
think?
great. So I think they are good signs. It does not mean necessarily people are saying that United will win the league. That please, they are not going to win the league, Charlie. They are now coming back from average to good. So there's some kind of improvement. And the good thing for us in FPL is that the United assets have been priced quite very low. You see somebody like
Yeah,
Rashford at
exactly.
6.5, Sancho at
Average to
seven point
good.
five.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
so that is one of the very
yes,
good things for
yes.
us as well. It reminds me of Lampard's first season in the EPL at Chelsea. That previous year, Chelsea did not do too well. So you had Tammy Abraham and Mount and Co at 6.5 and 6, and then they were very good because that year Chelsea's most expensive player was Pulisic at 7.5. So all those were able to jump onto the Mount, and then Tammy Abraham bandwagon in the first 10 games
Abraham,
really, really
yeah.
benefited from there.
Mhm.
Yes, so it's just good for us that the Man U players are price have gone. Even Ronaldo is around 10 point something, 10, I think 10.5 or 10 million. Bruno around 10 million. Even though now
I
they might
says
not
you
be.
won't come back. Oh, you won't come back.
Oh,
Still in
massa, massa, massa,
Portugal. You won't come
massa,
back.
massa.
He
On,
wants
on
he
my
wants a
engineer.
team. No one will buy
See,
him. No one will buy him.
see on my engineering like that. So that is it there. So for managers today, what we are going to do is that there are lots of ideas that are coming on how to do our teams for this season because of how the template has become. So what we are going to do today, we are going to take our time and review all the possible formations that managers can look at to build their teams. We are looking at formations that can help excel. So don't tell me a 1-4-2 formation, please. We want formations that can help managers to excel. Looking at how the price of players has gone across the FPL so far. So those who have not watched our video from our show from last week we did an extensive show on all the 20 teams in FPL this season, looking at which players you should get. So you can look at last week's show for that as well. Roland, last week this was how the percentage was standing at as at last week Thursday when we were doing our show. Do you know that Gabriel Jesus has finally bypassed Salah? And Gabriel Jesus has crossed 60%. Are you aware about that? Charlie! Hey. The FPL community, they are wild though. Charlie.
No, that's good. That's good.
So,
I'm unaware, but I mean,
Charlie, boys are really wild on this. And Charlie, the Arsenal guys are saying that Charlie Jesus is 200 times 2 times better than Lacazette as well. So Charlie, those are things from there. So last week we talked about this, and I reminded managers we have 3 wild card chips this season. Unlimited transfer between Gameweek 16 and 12 during the World Cup period. So managers who are not aware can look at that. We'll talk about that extensively next week. So these are the teams. Straightforward into the teams. Roland, 3-4-3 against 3-5-2. Now look at this 3-4-3 team, which has some key players. And now the players you have selected, I'm not saying the best players, but these are players who are representing some very good price points that managers can use. So if you don't like Doherty, you can get a 5.0 defender over there. If you don't like Neto, you can get a 5.5 midfielder over there. Now, traditionally in FPL, we like playing the 3-4-3 formation. Now, this 3-4-3 formation has 2 clear premiums in Haaland and then Salah, and then has 2 big guys at the back in Arnold and then Cancelo. Roland, how do you see this team? What do you think this team is a very good team for managers? Is it a team that managers can really look at to excel? What are the variations? Which players do you think you would have changed in this team if you had the opportunity to touch it for managers? What do you think? Let's hear from you.
Okay, looking at the 3-4-3, I would have preferred Sancho over Rashford because Sancho is more nailed.
Okay.
Right. And then with Tony, okay, how much is Tony?
Tony is 7 million.
7, okay.
Yeah.
Straight up, for me, when I start a season, I look at certainty.
Okay.
Certainty doesn't necessarily guarantee you points, but it guarantees you playing time. And
Okay.
I like to have players who are very certain to play. I know that Spurs have signed a right back,
Okay.
right?
Spence.
So they have Romero,
Okay,
they have the yes, and Spence. And I don't like uncertainty in my team, which will cause me to make changes the following week. So
Okay.
players like Doherty, like Kulusevski, I wouldn't have them in my team for the start of the season for the obvious reasons stated above. I wouldn't mind
Sure.
Tony being in my team. If he doesn't even score, I'm okay, but I know he's a starter.
Sure.
So that's how I've played FPL. I want starters in my team. And that guarantees you peace of mind for the first couple of weeks before you can also think that. Yes, because you don't want a situation where you have Doherty in your team, you have Rashford is benched the first game, Martial is moved to the right, is moved to the left, then Ronaldo starts the game. So you are sitting on tenterhooks. Like every time you're waiting for the Man City lineup to come. Will Mahrez play? Will Foden play? For the first game week of the season, come on. I'm not going to give myself that stress. So aside from that, this is a very solid team.
Okay.
The 3-4-3 team is a very, very solid team. If a manager wants to go for that team, it's not bad at all. It's not an issue for me. I would prefer a son over a Kulusevski. That is one of the things that I would also be looking at.
Yes, so these are all price dynamics. So Sancho is 1 million expensive more than Rashford, and then Son is 4 million expensive than Kulusevski. So if you want to do that, you need to downgrade somewhere over there. But then, do you think that this is a team that manages? So assuming we are more short on Rashford, And then for at 5.0 Doherty, you can get Karen Trippier, you can get Walker of City, or even if
Okay.
Cucurella comes to City. So that is there.
Yes.
So
Yes.
would you
Yes.
prefer to
Yes.
would you be okay with Tony, or you think that it's a better player at that 7.0 to replace Tony over there for managers?
I think that,
What do you think about?
uh,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I've not
Let's
really
go.
opened up the app, so I can't really tell which players will fit where. But if you look
So,
at the teams, you can
mm-hmm,
clearly tell that Tony
mm-hmm,
is a shoe-in because the
sure,
fixtures are okay for him. If
sure,
if I look at, I think the fixture list you put up last week, right?
yeah,
So looking at Tony, I feel that he serves a good purpose there. And towards
mm-hmm,
the end of the season, you could see that he was bang on.
yeah,
We felt that there will be relegation threatened, but all of a sudden he started scoring a hat trick. He'll get 2 goals. I remember FPL Salah kept him for so many weeks. Then he
yeah,
banged a
yeah,
hat
yeah,
trick for
yeah.
him. That's why
Sure, sure, sure.
you see it's one of the things that we don't have as managers. We try to deal with every situation when a player is not performing, but we should also be looking at the weak spots in our teams and how we can deal with them rather than always looking to chop and change. Right.
Okay,
So Tony will play 38 games out of 38 if he's not injured. So will
okay,
Jesus. Alan will play
okay,
most of the games. Neto will play
mm-hmm,
most of the games. Salah will play most of the games. So all these players, I think that, like you're saying, if Rashford is nailed on, he's a good shoe-in for this. He's a shoe-in completely.
sure,
I mean, he's a
great,
bargain
great.
at that price. Yes. Kulusevski too. I mean, now he has competition from uh
Richarlison, Richarlison.
Richarlison. Thank you. Yes. So it's not. I apart from Son and King, and I think that apart from Kane necessarily, because in those games, Son was substituted 70 minutes, 75th minute. Looking at the latter part of the season, if you can really remember, Son
Sure.
kept on coming off after 70 minutes. He wasn't happy, but that was because Conte felt that he had run himself into the ground. So he needed to be substituted. Right.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying that if Son doesn't get a goal in 70 minutes, doesn't mean that he
Mm-hmm.
comes off.
Ha,
Ken
ha,
would
ha, ha,
most likely play 90 minutes every week.
ha, ha, ha.
So all those things, they are dynamics that
All
me
those
I look at
dynamics are
when I'm
sure,
picking my team.
sure, sure, sure,
All in
sure.
all, I'll give this team a 7 out of 10.
Okay, 7 out of 10 to this team. Great, good there. So
Yeah,
managers
yeah,
can look. So as we are saying, the guys we have given are price points. So they can make some slight dynamics and changes to them. So they are not like cast in stone. And everything we have right now is subject to preseason based on how the teams will set up. So even though we are talking about Kulisevsky, Rashford, we are all watching how the final
precisely.
preseason games will go to be able to know what to do. But the only good thing about this team is at least it has Salah and Haaland. In fact, I want to say it right now. Anybody who is making an FPL team without Salah, you are not making an FPL team. Charlie, you have to close the app. You can't tell me why you make a team without Salah. I know that there are cases that if you move from Salah to you Luis Diaz, you get 4 million and able to please. Massa, you can't compare Luis Diaz as a captain to Salah. That's one of the things about buying Salah or Haaland. They are guys that you can assure of captaincy. So it's not just about saving the money. You want somebody that, because in FPL, captaincy sometimes gives about 25% of your full overall points. So you cannot joke with that. And Luis Diaz has not reached the Salah level for that as well. So that is it for the 3-4-3 team. So let's look at the 3-5-2. So you know that FPL normally is either 3-4-3 or 3-5-2. So these are the normal default formations that we are using in FPL. So this 3-5-2 formation rather brings in Bruno Guimaraes. That's a 6.0 6.0 midfielder, and then Ivan Tony goes. And then in this case, you can get a backup of Karen Trippier on the bench. So it's more like you even have an extra. So the fact of the matter is that yes, we want to make this point for managers to note that you should know that this season we are going to struggle in the very first part of the season, the very first 16 games, because we are going to have a very congested Champions League schedule. In fact, let me help managers foresee what I'm trying to say here. Let's see. So you'll see that we start in game week 1 here. Now, after game week 1, game week 2, you have the Conference League. So West Ham will play. Only West Ham will play that. But then game week 3, almost all the teams will play Capital One, EFL Cup second round, except the teams in Europe. Then game week 4, we have midweek game week 5. Then we'll now have game week 6, and then we'll have European games, 7 European games, 8 before we go for international. So you see that almost every week we have international. Like we have almost, it will be like almost every week there's a followed by midweek. So it means that our players are going to play like 3 matches in just a space of 1 week. So no matter whatever team you are built as an FPL manager, you need to have a strong bench. You really, really need to have a strong bench. The only good thing for us as FPL managers is that the games normally start after game week 4. So at least you are sure that for maybe game week 4 to 5, you might not have any disruption of your team. But as soon as we enter game week 6 going, we are going to have a lot of rotations there. So whatever team you are building, just focus on having a good bench. It's a point that managers need to note going forward into this season. If other seasons you've not had a good bench, at least first and second, not just first. And the good thing for us as managers is that we have Andreas Pereira, 4.5 midfielder, who is playing for Fulham, and he's playing more like a number 10 as of now. And then you have Nico Williams, who's a 4.0 defender.
Andreas Pereira, has he been sold to Fulham or what?
Yes, officially. I told you, you are you are lost.
The Man U player.
Yes, he's gone to Fulham. You are lost. You're only thinking about Ten Hag. Master, we have moved forward. So this 3-5-2 formation. What do you think about the 3-5-2 formation?
Okay.
How do you rate this 3-5-2 formation for managers?
For managers, this 3-5. This is just taking out. It's taking out Tony and bringing in Bruno. That's the only difference I see in this team. It's more or less the same players, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So how would you weigh? Would you weigh an extra player in midfield, and an extra player in midfield, or an extra player in attack? How would you weigh as an FPL manager? How do you think the game favors going forward? What's your take there?
Seeing Trippier on the bench, I prefer having a 4-4. But if we are just sticking to this 3-5-2, I would prefer the 3-4-3 over this 3-5-2.
Okay. Reason being that you would think that Tony can get you more goals as compared to Bruno Guimaraes, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
So the point,
and
about
it gives you that kind of surety that Bruno, Bruno he's a flashy player. You can't be guaranteed of goals every week, right? So if he turns up this week and doesn't turn up the following week, I told you I play like with the years past. I've been realizing something, like I have been chopping and changing too much, because last season, I think after game week 3 or 4, I was in the top 10K.
Sure.
But trying to overdo things is what made me end up around I think 90 or 80K, or I can't remember where I ended. Or was it 100K? I can't remember, but that is the reason why I'm a bit skeptical about going for such players.
Okay.
FPL sometimes tends to lack. Sometimes, like you are saying, there are players that have EFL Cup, they have Europe, and all of that. So all these things have to also be taken into consideration. Jesus has Europa. Haaland has UCL.
Champions League.
Lusevski, UCL. Yes, Salah, UCL.
Almost all the players are playing something.
So now you look at it and you can tell which players will be fresh. Because if they are playing EFL, Trippier won't play. Bruno will also not play that game. Right? Okay. So there are advantages there. Now, if you can tell who's the first choice for Premier League, who's the first choice for UCL, then it helps. Would Doherty be given UCL, or would he be given EPL?
Sure.
So these are all things that we need to consider. And they're also going for the World Cup.
No, wait.
Salah is not going to the World Cup.
No, you're not going to the World Cup.
And I'm just saying it. No,
okay.
I get it.
Okay.
Let me just end with this, that
Plan, sure.
you
Okay.
you also have to forecast. You have to forecast, and that's what I'm looking at. Neto doesn't have any commitment anywhere, so it means that a week's rest you get week after week. So you don't have a problem with Neto. Rashford, you cannot be too sure. Kulusevski too, you can't be too sure. So it's a bit, but like I said, I'll go the 3-4-3 over the 3-5-2.
Sure. Okay. I personally will go with the 3-5-2 by the 3-4-3. Reason being that this 3-5-2 can change to a 4-4-2, and then you can change it. So depending on the fixture, you can always adapt it as well. And then with this 3-5-2, if Cruella like this comes to what do you call it, City, you can have him there. So it gives more. The 3-5-2 is more flexible as compared to the 3-4-3 over there. That's how I think that there are more options. There are more options there. So, but
yeah,
it's all good. So managers can look at that. Those of us who are watching the video on repeat, what you can do is let us know. Let us know in the comment section which of these teams you prefer. Which player do you think that is not worth having in there. So now talk of 4-4-2. So 4-4-2 is here. Just when I mentioned 4-4-2. So this is a 4-4-2. Now, so this
you have dieting all your drafts.
No. No, Roland. So these are not necessarily what do you call it?
So they are templates.
They are templates. They are template picks that managers can swap with preferences. So if somebody like, I don't like James, I like Chilwell, so you can just change James to Chilwell. I don't like Doherty, I like Trippier, so you can just but they are very good price points that have various players at other places that you can swap with. So somebody's like, okay, I don't believe in this Man U bro. I'll go for Martinelli of Arsenal. I think that Arsenal have quite some better features than that. So these are all dynamics that managers need to do. But you are just presenting the dynamics of the team so managers to know, because sometimes people don't like. Some people are just using the 3-4-3 and they think that's the only formation. No, there are varied formations that have, and each formation has its own pros and cons. So as a FPL manager, you need to open to all of this and assess and see, based on my team structure, can I look at this? Is this one better than the other or what? But then you're making a very good point about the rotation. Now, a very key point for managers to notice, as we've talked about earlier throughout this episode today, is that there are going to be rotations of players starting from game week 5 going. So try and always have a core of players from the teams that are not in Europe. A special team for us this season would be Leicester. You know, last year when Arsenal was not in Europe, Arsenal really benefited from not being in Europe. They play one match, they play next week, they play one match next week, so they were always fit and fresh. So in that same way, we're expecting that Leicester's assets, Vardy, Maddison, Barnes, will be able to, even their defense, Justin Fofana, Pereira, and Castagna can all do the job over there. So managers can look there. West Ham will be quite tricky because of how, but as we get closer by game week 1, we'll know. But so these, as you're talking about, the Wolves players, the Newcastle players, the what do you call it? Oh, I'll call you cry from saying. Oh, I've Anthony team cry from saying. Brentford players out as well. These, and always pick teams players that play for attacking teams. So for Brentford, like apart from Ivan Toney, I won't mention him. Mbeumo is I'm not happy with him, so I won't mention him. I'll go for Weiser. Weiser is 5.5, so I can go for Weiser 5.5 over there. So Roland, the 4-4-2, I think we've talked about it a bit. So this 4-4-2 team can be switched to a 3-5-2 because of Neto down there. So it's quite similar to the other one. Yes. So there's not so much to talk about the 4-4-2 team. But you can make much more changes because the 4-4-2 allows you to have, most managers are looking at going big at the back, but going 5 at the back is quite very huge to go. So at least 4 at the back is quite manageable. You have 4 attacking wing backs, 4 solid midfielders, and then you have 2 strong guys in up front. So you have your Salah, Haaland, and then you have Jesus doing the job for Arsenal. Then you have Cancelo, and then Trent at the back there. So that's the 4-4-2 there. So what about the 4-5-1? What do you think? The 4-5-1 allows you to bring in James to the Chelsea guys.
5-1. Okay. Okay. So if you look at then there's
Well, and talk. Well, and talk. I
balance.
just feel like your line is breaking, but still talk. I think I'm listening. Mm.
That's what I'll say. The team is Andres Pereira with Andreas Pereira. He's an attacking midfielder. So there's no harm in having him in your team. Yes. So if you look at it, what we are seeing here, I said the team is balanced, right?
Okay.
You have four
Mm-hmm.
premium defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Now you look at Son. You have the Son and Salah and Haaland combo.
Yeah.
So the premium in attack too,
Sure.
right? So the rest, because you know that week after week, these players will perform for you.
Sure.
Neto, yes. Rashford, yes. Andreas Pereira, question mark, but yes. You can't have all of them like that. The only thing
Sure.
is your bench isn't looking good. You've sacrificed your bench for
You
all
can't
these players.
you
So,
can't you can't
like the
eat your
way
cake and
you
have
are
it.
also advising, the way you're also advising us that we should look at having a strong bench. Uh,
Mm.
I, I would love the 4-5-1, but looking at the fixture, if one or two players don't play, then you're left with Greenwood and Nico Williams. Nico
Nick
Williams will
Williams.
not play. Archer will not play. So that is where the issue is. So you need to get a bench point. Uh-huh. Or what
So
say you?
okay, so if push goes to shove, what you can do is that you can change Rashford for Martinelli 6.0, and then you can then use that money to
Okay,
upgrade maybe Nico Williams to a 4.5 playing defender, so that at least you know that you have a 4.5 playing
that's
defender
all.
there. Yes, or maybe a
That's
5.0,
all.
a 5.0. I don't think we have any playing 5.0 attacker. That's the challenge with the attacking spot. Attacking spot up under 5.0, you won't get any proper player. So even Greenwood will just come and play some 10 minutes, some 5 minutes, and replace to let Bamford rest more. So him guys just 1 point that you get over there. So that is with this 4-5-1 team. But the good thing I like about this 4-5-1 team is that it gives us the Chelsea guys. I've been saying this. Watch, Chelsea are facing Spurs in game week 2. Chelsea's fixtures don't really look the very best on paper, but those games are games that are involving goals. So even when you're buying James, you're not thinking about just clean sheet, because if you know James scores 1 goal, 6 points, and he'll surely get some bonus points. And Charlie, it moves there. So he's already like 9 points over there. So the good thing about this 4-5-1 is allows, as you said, it allows us to have Son. People are saying that there's a theory in the FPL community that is saying that if you have Salah and Haaland, it's enough. You don't need the Spurs guys. Reason being that you are not going to captain Son, because if you are not captaining Salah, you're captain Haaland. But the point is that even though you're not captaining Son, Son's point, because you know Son will hit, like Son is like those guys. He will give you 10, 15, then he'll give you some 2. Now, those 10, 15, and 2 is 27 points over just 3 games. And those are important points. Kulisevsky
Yeah.
can't give you that assured level of points. Kulisevsky will give you
Thank
8,
you. Thank
9, then 2. That is more or less like 19. 19 and 27. Charlie, in FPL, Charlie, one point there. 1 point can. So managers should not sleep on the Spurs guys. And as we are saying, there's some managers that doubt Haaland. If you are doubting Haaland, Harry Kane is there for you. Harry Kane is looking very sharp in preseason. So managers can look at him and then later on look at
Hey, well, has
Haaland
he
over
scored
there.
some goals in preseason?
Share, oh dear, oh dear. Harry Kane has scored, I think he scored like 3 goals in preseason so far. Son too has scored like some 2 goals there. And Haaland and Son and Harry Kane have started combining all over again for managers. So that's it, 4-4-2 and then 4-5-2. Now, for wait, I think I have repeated one of my slides. Okay. I have repeated one of the numbers. It's supposed to be this one. This one is supposed to be 5-3-2. Roland, don't worry. Let's go. So Roland, I need to talk about this 5-5-4-1, and I'll see if I can change this 5-4-5-1 into talk about this team. Once you are doing that, I'll see if I can change this one into that back into how do you call it?
This 541 is bullet, serious bullet. I mean, this is every manager's dream to be able to have five premium defenders. I think last season the jury was out for such bold decisions that managers took, and quickly managers realized that they had to revert to the 3-4-3 because James started giving 1-0, 1-0, not good numbers.
James,
So
James will beat you.
so some of these things, I mean, I strongly recommend no one goes 5-4-1 at the start of the season because you look at preseason, then you are able to also tell how teams are faring. Okay, we'll say, oh, Liverpool won by 5 goals to 0. I don't know how many minutes TA played. I don't know how many minutes Robertson played. But these are all teams that you should be able to tell that if you go with this, changing becomes a problem.
Okay,
If there's a player who has hit in game week 1 that you want, it becomes
you
an
can.
issue for you, especially in
It's
attack and
quite
midfield.
rigid. It's rigid.
Yes, 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 because you look at it and you're like, okay, you know what? Maybe Robertson's next game is against Nottingham Forest. Okay, let me keep him. But Charlie, Son is also doing well, though. So what do I do? So it makes you have to juggle your team and try to keep it. 5-3-2. So it's a bit dicey for me. I will never go 5-4-1 at the start of the season. Even during the season, can't do it.
Hey,
Managers kept doing it. Last season, 5-4-1 for me. No, because
but okay.
no back pass can lead to an own. So me, I beg you, I won't.
He did fear. He did fear. He did fear. It is called.
You
It is
know, I
called
think one
Usra Undi.
because I remember last season in one of the games, I think in the 93rd or 92nd minute, one team lost their clean sheet. Was it Ramsdale? Was it Ramsdale?
Ramsdale had
Yes,
one
it
like
was
that.
Arsenal. Yeah, yeah, he was
It's
on
very
for
good
9
though,
points.
Charlie.
I
Charlie,
had
that one
Kieran Tierney, he was on for 7 points. So I had 7 plus 9. Then 93rd minute, they were leading the team 2-0. Then they allowed the other team to score 1. I remember her that it was so
Charlie,
frustrating.
it will
So
kill. It will
I
kill you.
don't
It
I
will
don't I don't really like.
you are talking about that. I mean, last season, I think
So me, I like
there was one of the either last season or last season I had McCarthy, and then I had Kyle Walker Peters, and then some they were playing some Bobby and Mopai. They crossed the
yes.
ball, it came to the ball. Mopai hit the ball, bang! Some bands. I wanted to cry.
Yeah, that's how it is.
So
That's
no,
how it is.
but aside that, you can, the good thing for me for this team is that it allows you to have Robo and Trent. And you know what? Liverpool normally come out of the blocks very strong. They come out bang bang bang, and they come out and start scoring the goals. Giddy 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 giddy. They don't play slow like that. So to me, I think that Liverpool I know people are looking at Luis Diaz, but I think that Robo and Trent, looking at Liverpool's game, they are going to try and score goals, even though they'll play United. I think in game week 4 or something like that. It's worth looking at. And then you know what? You have the big at the back, all the big guys. Just that Roland says that he's afraid of. Roland says is that he's afraid of Ogo, and losing the clean sheet over there. But then I think this is quite good also. And then
I
you
told
have
you.
a base. The only challenge is your bench. So the bench you can only get a 5.0 Willock or any other 5.0, but 4.5 Greenwood and 4.5 Archer. So as you're talking about, even though some formations are very, very juicy, we all want it, the challenge would be your bench. No matter what, remember that this season benches will come on. Some benching will come because the games are going to be for about 6 continuous games. You have teams playing 6 continuous. You have teams playing about 2 games a week. So we should all watch out for that, even though we want the very best. So the other plan for managers to navigate this is that, there are no midweek games for like the first 5 game weeks. So after the first 5 game weeks, then you can wild card, and then make sure you wild card and have the Leicester, Ivan Toney. And the good thing about the game week 6 is that game week 6, Fulham and then Bournemouth pitches are going to get better. So then you can have a mixture of those players, and then you can go and put those other guys on the bench. Like you leave them. But the only thing I like is Kane. Kane is one guy that even if that's for him, he will play. Kane and Salah are very sure guys that no matter what, whether they will play 1,000 games a season, those guys are still going to play over there. So that's the 5-3-2, 5-4-1 formation. What about the 5-3-2? Relatively, will you take that one compared to the 5-4-1? Still with that back line, but this time you can't have Robo. You have to make it deal with Trippier, and then this one has a better bench. So this one has Jesus instead of Martinelli, and then you have Andreas. So you have 2 bench, Andreas Pereira, and then you have Willock, and then you have 1 point Greenwood guy over there. What do you think? Would you prefer the 5-3-2 over the 5-4-1? Or would you think about this one? Will you try this one and see, or is it Charlie still 5 at the back there? Go try. Roland, what do you think? What's your take over there? Hello.
Okay, comparing the 5-3-2 and the 5-4-1, I prefer the 5-3-2 over the 5-4-1.
Why?
Because if I look at it now, this allows me to have more attackers. So if I have 5 attackers, I feel better off than having just 4. Right.
Okay.
Yes, we can talk about Robertson being the other player that is in there, but it's still the same for me. Right. You having Doherty, James, Cancelo, Trippier. Trippier has fairly good games. Cancelo tricky games. James tricky games. Doherty tricky games. Alexander Arnold, okay, slow start. So if I look at it, if I'm to pick between these two, I'll go for 5-3-2 because Jesus and Haaland up front is more or less a template pick. It's a must-have. You must have these two in your team if you want to start up the team, or maybe Kane or Jesus. So these two, So if you look at it from that angle, that's what I prefer than to have a 5. Martinelli, I don't trust so much. Yeah, I don't have so much confidence in him. The 5-3-2 gives you a better bench.
A better bench.
5-3-2 gives you a better bench. Looking at
Yes, so that's a very important point for managers there. So managers to watch. So all we are doing is that these teams that we have. Yeah, Roland, I think you're breaking, so you can build up your point. Otherwise, I might have to speak over there.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have a better bench. Yeah.
So yes, so a better bench there. So managers just go. This gives you how the formation can be. You can change players, as you have said. The players are not. These are not the. Let somebody say the very very best, but these are players that have quite good 5 to first 6 games, and they are good picks that you can look at. If you don't prefer maybe James, you can go with Chilwell. If you don't prefer Cancelo, you can go with maybe Laporte. Even I think Laporte's injured as well. So these are all guys you need to look at. So those who don't prefer Haaland, say Haaland will not work. You can go with Harry Kane over there. And those who say that Charlie Ciro will come back and stomp the templates, Charlie, those of you who want to go with Ciro, Charlie, you can go with Ciro. It's up to you over there. So that is it there. So what you can do is that as we get closer to game week, we can come back and watch this video again and look at all of them and say, okay, which template can I look at and try and balance my team? And I'm sure that as we get closer, we'll be able to make much more info for managers over there. Now, we want to clearly make this point about the winner for last year, Emmanuel Nyama. We are saying again, if by next week he hasn't come, automatically to go to Neos Ebanaman, because we have to be able to fulfill our promise. People are asking what is happening. We need to fulfill. So if Emmanuel Nyama by next week he doesn't come, then we'll need to automatically know that it is going to the next person. If he has also not subscribed, it will go to the next person. So as we told the managers, and now what we want managers to do is that go to YouTube, go to where the settings, and make your subscriptions public, so that we can also see whether you have subscribed. Because if I can't see you subscribe from our end, then it means that actually you don't subscribe. And we said that subscription was the most important element before anyone to get the 1,000 Ghana cedis prize money for the FPL Ambassadors show. Yeah. So Roland, so next week we'll do the
Yeah.
preseason roundup for managers, and we are sure that
Okay.
we'll be able to
Okay.
do whatever we need to do for managers. Any other key point you need managers to know? I think the managers should relax with their teams. Some managers are saying that they don't want to take out with their team. They want to wait till like 1 week till the season starts. Some are tinkering. Which school of thought are you? Relax or tinkering?
Well, if you have, I mean, the free time to be doing it, I don't see why not. I mean, some people takes time for them to get into the groove. So for me, whether I want to do it now, you want to do it a day before, hours before. You know how relaxed I usually am. I mean, days before. I don't do transfers. So when it gets to the end, that's when I'll be Raymond. Tell it, this is my team. This is what I want to do. That's where the pressure sets in. But aside from that, everyone is right. So for you, maybe on your draft number 1,000. Me, I've not even opened the app. Right. I don't even know what player, which player, which amount, what amount. So that's how it is. So we just have to. I mean, if you're like me, take your time. If you're like Ray, you have time to burn. Every 5-10 minutes, you can log on and do your changes. No one, there's no hard and fast rule on it. So
Oh, Charlie. I want to say that this is my team, but Charlie, this week, all I've been doing is Charlie, Kane, Haaland. And Charlie, seriously, I have moved back to the Kane camp. Game week 1, Kane, Haaland will come in game week. I don't expect Haaland to do any job against West Ham are stubborn guys. And I think that somebody say I'm booking a transfer ahead of time. Yeah, sometimes you have to do that. If your mind is Charlie. FPL is about enjoyment. It's not about template and always Charlie. Sometimes you have to play the game. Charlie, it's a game. Sometimes we treat ourselves cheap, template rules, but some munjai sani and what game they ever give the head. Charlie. So I've officially switched Kane over Haaland. Unless Haaland comes to score some goals, be there, Charlie, he would score. So that said, the FPL Ambassador
once
show is
more,
brought to you by myself, Raymond Nketsiah, and Ray Nkets. Rowland Ekuban at Rowland Ekuban. I know people are asking about Marlvin. Charlie Marlvin is on a very long FPL break this year, but he will surely join us just before game week 1. So managers should relax over there. Just take your time and watch the video again. Look at it. You can watch it and then pause and then think out your team and see, okay, no, this is what I have. So you do all of that and as well. You can follow us on Twitter as at FPL Ambassadors. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and then you can turn on the notification so that anytime any video comes out, you have it as well. Thank you, managers. Roland, thank you too very much. I'm sure next week, Thursday, we'll be back. And by
thank you
then,
very
most of
much.
the teams would have had a lot of preseason. So next week will be a preseason roundup. We'll round up all the guys from preseason, and the managers will be more prepared. By then will be 8 days to game week 1. And they will be zooming in, and then we'll get into the game week 1 show as well. Charlie, it's been nice meeting you once again. Talk about FPL. So Roland, by next week, you should open the app. Must I get ready to open the app and stuff that. And then try and bring around Marlvin for us as well. Charlie. Okay, managers, have a good night. Enjoy the video and then share it as well then. Okay, bye.
Bye, manager.